Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Today, we have Alexis G Zall on, and we discuss a girl who's been in love with her best gay friend forever, and he's now decided that he thinks it'd be fun for them to have sex. Should they do it? Should they not? And we also talk about a potential 15-year-old who might be pregnant and just hasn't checked for the last 3 months, who's also dating a stupid douche. So keep listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Today's wonderful, exciting guest is someone whose podcast I was just on.
Woo! It was fun.
Alexis G Zall. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Classic exchange at the top of a podcast.
Oh, always. You gotta thank them. Otherwise, it's like, fuck you. Why did I fucking come all the way to Santa Monica? Because it is fucking far.
It is a bit far.
It is a bit far. Granted, your podcast is a bit far too.
Yeah, I know. I feel like podcast location studios are just a bit far.
They are a bit far. It used to be at my house, which was quite close, but then I had to clean new people coming over for a party clean every time. And I was like, I fucking hate this.
Also, I love that we just have an understanding of like what close and far is without really discussing like where we live.
No,
but
completely.
it just makes sense.
Yes, also, everything is far in LA if I can't get there. If I can't be like, oh, I'm going to be late and then if I'm not late, you know what I mean? Like if I need to leave later than I think I'm going to leave and then I'm like, oh, it's close. But if I allot 20 minutes to leave and it takes me 20 minutes to get there, I'm like, too far. I want to get there either early or I want to leave like 15 minutes.
I'm going to go ahead and be honest and say didn't follow that. Do not know what you just said.
My Adderall has not kicked in yet, so we'll get halfway through the podcast and be like, oh, Meghan's making sense.
Ooh, yes, I'm following now.
Now you get it.
All right.
Okay, guys, so we're actually recording this for YouTube too, so if you haven't watched it on YouTube yet, I mean, that'd be weird because you're listening to the audio version, and the audio version will come out before YouTube, but watch it on YouTube because Alexis has a wonderfully nice tan.
Ooh, thank you.
Very nice. I'm quite envious of it. And you're so hairless.
That is crazy because I have not shaved them in months.
You're fucking kidding. Can I touch this?
I don't shave them. They're not hairless. If you look at it.
You have no hair follicles though.
Hair follicles.
Like
Wait,
those
is
little
that
dots?
the little dots? Maybe because I don't shave it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is hair where the follicles would be.
Oh, wow. I want to do that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I hate shaving my legs. Granted, I don't do it often.
Mm-hmm. I feel like such a womanly woman.
Oh, yeah. Like when you let your armpit hair grow out too. I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. Usually in the winter when I just wear long sleeve shirts and forget. And then one day I'll look down or I'm doing something in a workout class and I'm like, okay, that's here. This is
a little something different.
That's fun. Look at that. Feeling very middle school. So yeah, this is an advice podcast if you guys haven't tuned in before. And we also have our fantastic, your producer, director, superwoman, superhero.
All of
what
it.
What other titles do you want?
Editor too.
Editor, yeah, but what other think of
badass.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, we'll just stick with that one for today.
Motherfucker. Okay, it's Melissa. Hello.
Hi.
We took a boxing class this weekend. It was fucking great.
I love boxing.
It's
so fun. I want to I guess we'll talk about this on our own time, but I really want to.
Do you want to go?
Where do you go? Yeah.
So when I go to New York, I go to Rumble and I've been obsessed with it and I go quite often. And then they just opened one last week in LA. And so we went for one, it was opening week and we went. So
I really want to go.
If you ever want to go, I'm super into it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's be
I'm a fun workout
friends.
buddy too, right? Mm-hmm. I don't try and be in class being hey, how you doing? I'm not waving, trying to talk at all. But if we make eye contact, I'll smile.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the right kind of.
Yeah, we had
a good
in
time.
our own zone. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were both focused on you, but also if you cast a glance, you weren't looking away.
Exactly.
Right.
When Drake comes on and I can do my lame Kiki, do you love me? I'm fucking dancing. Yeah. So it was great. And I brought two of my friends who do not working out with me and they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The last time I took them to Soul Cycle, the instructors were like, did you have fun? Will you come back? And they both were like, no, I didn't. I'm not coming back.
I am also kind of similar. I did Soul Cycle once because you have to.
You have to. It's a part of initiation when you move to LA.
It really is. And I don't think it's for me. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of the like soul,
Oh,
you know?
No.
So you're saying you're soulless.
Dude,
It's
I am
so
soulless.
soul.
You have to find the right instructor.
Okay.
So I had like my favorite instructor ever. And then when I told Melissa, like I like came into like, I forget what we were doing. And I was like, I have some really bad news. And I was like, so my soul cycle instructor, she's like, died? I'm like, no, he's quitting.
Yeah, I was like, she was mourning.
I was so fucking sad. He literally had to tell me like separately. Like he like messaged me on Instagram. He was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. So I have been like very anti it for a long time because I'm not into like, don't tell me to like run through my day because that makes no sense. I'm on a stationary bike at 8 a.m. Like that's not why I'm here. Like I don't need any sort of like, now think about something. I'm like, I just want to think about not dying and then just finish the workout. And then I just found a new soul cycle instructor who I'm obsessed with. Half the reason why I'm obsessed with her is because right after class, she was like, you're an incredibly strong writer. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
I thought you said writer, and I was like, she just sensed it. She just like throughout the whole class, she was just like, I'm getting a vibe from
getting like
Meghan.
Academia vibe.
Yeah.
That's what Soul Cycle's about.
It is.
Identifying the souls.
Oh, fucking shit. I don't like the soul part either because I don't have one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can stop talking about exercise now, guys, and get into the podcast. So basically what's going to happen is people call and they leave voicemails and then we give them advice on the things that they are struggling with. And if you guys want to call into the podcast, I've already touched it. I like can't get through an episode without like mouth raping
Just
or
like
licking
giving it a little
us. Not
kiss.
mouth
There's
raping,
just like a
that's-
lot of sexual tension between you and the mic, and you just make a move.
I do. I just like, I should have asked first. I'm so sorry. The number is 310-694-0976. Again, 310-694-0976.
That's it.
It is. And if you are an international caller, you can email us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com and we can play that with your sexy, sexy accents. Okay, shall we hop into the podcast? Into the
do it.
calls? I have like a booger that every time I breathe is like kind of like flying. You know what I mean?
Just get it out and I'll
Just
close
get
my
it
eyes.
out.
I did it. It's okay. It's on video.
Well,
Great.
I'll cut it.
I don't have to cut it. It's okay.
No, leave it in.
I'm a 19-year-old that lives in Kentucky, and I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year and a half, and I've never orgasmed during our sex. We have honestly been having sex since we started dating, so a year and a half of sex, and I've never orgasmed. And I don't know if it's me, if I can't orgasm, and I think our sex is really good, but I just feel like sometimes he doesn't last long enough, or I don't know, like maybe I'm not into it enough, but I just don't know what to do, and I don't want to bring it up to him and make him feel bad. Sometimes he even makes like little jokes about it, like I don't even know how to explain him, but he'll just make a little joke like about the fact that I haven't orgasmed, and I don't think he finds it funny. I think he feels really bad about it. And I don't really know what to do because obviously I want to, and I'm also super scared to use sex toys because I'm not very confident in myself.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think of when I had my first orgasm.
I feel like
It was definitely not with a guy. Like it was definitely like with myself.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying. Okay, so here's what I think that she should do.
Yeah.
I think that should I talk to her?
Yeah,
Address
talk
her
to her.
directly. All right, you should masturbate a lot.
A lot.
And figure out what makes you orgasm, like on your own. And then I think you can figure out how to incorporate that. And you've been dating a year and a half. Like I would expect you guys aren't like shy around each other, you know?
Yeah, but they're still 19. You know what I
Youthful.
mean? Like that's like, I think of like even like sexually, especially like I genuinely, so like I lost my virginity when I was like 16, something like that. No, but I don't think I was like, I think when I don't know, I find that because I associated my like sexual experiences with another person, like I had sex before I ever masturbated. And like it wasn't until I got older and like I was like enjoying sex, but like definitely wasn't finishing from sex. I probably also like had my first orgasm at like 19, 20, but I'd been having sex for years with different people. But like I associated sex with and like getting off with a partner. So I definitely relate to the whole thing of feeling like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. But there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the fact that if you're my friend literally can't even orgasm if her room is messy. Like if she's thinking about anything, like you can't, like you have to have like, first of all, a clear mind. It like actually takes focus for girls. It's not just like a thing that automatically happens. But also I don't find it
I never like orgasmed with a guy until I was able to do it to myself first. Because I don't think you let your body get there because like you'll like to get like super graphic or whatever, like you don't know what that sensation is. So you resist it and you can fight against it and you can mentally block an orgasm from happening.
100%. Yeah, I know if I'm like sleeping with someone for the first time or sleeping with someone I'm like not comfortable with emotionally, I won't come. Like 100%. So I think for me, it was figuring out like, wow, masturbating, like, okay, if I do this to me, then that will make me come. And then being with a partner that I was like comfortable enough to say, okay, do this. And that will lead to good. So I think figuring out what turns you on and like what gets you there on your own time. And then being able to communicate that to like the person that you're seeing or your boyfriend.
Well, because otherwise you're them being like, well, how can I do this? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to get there either. So it's kind of like you're both trying to figure it out. And like vaginas are super confusing. So I would like do some research on your own time and then educate him. Because if you're both trying to figure out vagina, the whole like that's just like a lot of trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think even like, do a Google, like learn what is happening down there because maybe, and I'm sure if you go to him and you say, okay, I would like you to touch me like this, or I'd like you to like, I want to be on top, right? Whatever, XYZ, or he's going to
eat me the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say
I mean, you're not going to come from, I mean, you might come from sex. Like you might be a unicorn who like can just come from penetration. I mean, that's not sex, that's just penetration. But I just mean like you have, like it needs to be as much of a priority for as much as it's about like he's feeling insecure that he hasn't done that, like you need to also take some responsibility for your own enjoyment with sex because he knows how to work his penis. Like he doesn't, every vagina is different. Like he does, even if you guys have like had slept with other people, having sex with other people or like, it's so,
it's super different. Yeah. And everybody likes totally different things.
Like we might have all the same parts, but like what gets other people off is like very different.
Like I don't even love when people go down on me.
Shut up.
I know.
What?
Everybody freaks out. It's not my favorite thing and it's not what's going to make me orgasm. The room silent.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
That is really fascinating. Have you like, I hate when people like make these comments like this, but like, have you like, do you feel like, have there been times where you've like very much enjoyed it?
That it's like,
or do you feel like there's been, cause I'm going to say the thing that I hate when people say it.
Okay, say
because
it.
I don't know how else to say it.
Okay.
Like, do you feel like, I mean, like I fucking hate if a guy goes down on me who's bad at it, but if you're great at it, I like it. Like, have you been able to like discern the difference between the different people going down on you and you don't like just
I would
the
say
act
yes.
of it?
I like looking at it. I love watching that happen.
Hot.
I think that's
super hot.
Yeah, super hot. And so for like a few minutes, like a little bit, love it. That's fun. But it's definitely not going to make me orgasm.
Wow. That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It's like too much. It's like too sensitive.
No, I get that. That makes, no, I completely understand. That makes total sense. I have a friend who's like that.
Yeah,
who's
it's just like too much.
It's like very much like, I just know, like, it's just like
you
overwhelming.
get close and then.
Yeah.
After like a few minutes, it's just like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We're done on that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even this, like, I think is a good example for you listening, how like everybody's bodies are so different. There's definitely nothing wrong with your body. And I know for me, like I had to figure out what made me orgasm on my own time and then bring that to the table with someone I felt comfortable with.
Same. And I also think that you're so fucking far ahead than anybody else. Like the first boyfriend I've ever been with that like made me orgasm is my current boyfriend. And I am turning 25 in less than a month. So like we started dating when I was 22. So I had only ever gotten myself off probably like from the age of like 19, no, honestly, probably like 20 was like the first time that I ever did that myself. And then it wasn't until like being with my current boyfriend that was the partner who did it. So I think the fact that like you're comfortable talking about it like on a podcast and like you're talking about it with your boyfriend, even though he's coming about it in like a joking sort of manner, like you're obviously both thinking about it. And I would say to like touch on the sex toy thing, like I don't think Google different ways to like masturbate at home that don't involve you having to like buy a vibrator on Amazon. If like that's something you're nervous about, like that's not, you don't need.
It's not necessary.
It's super not necessary.
And I think having your first orgasm with the vibrator will give you unrealistic expectations.
Very quick.
Yeah.
So I would say, just like do a lot of research and think about it that way. And then I mean, one of my favorite books is called.
I was about to say that.
Big fan. It's called She Comes First. It's great. This book, first of all, is probably so dirty and disgusting. Like My Physical Copy is probably so dirty and disgusting because it has made the fucking rounds amongst my friends. Like literally guys and girls alike of being like, and I've even like talked to like some of my friends' girlfriends were like, hey, can you leave that book around next time like my boyfriend's over and like all of that stuff.
And Arden Rose recommends it to everyone.
Arden and I literally have had like hour-long conversations about it. How like even you two, if you like or order it, read it, it's got a papaya on the cover. And I mean, like, I get it. It's And so I remember the first time, I had the book, but one of the first times that I had like really like read it and not just kind of like read it when I was in a relationship, not just like read it when I was like single and being like, curious. I like had read it and then like left it on my nightstand. And like the next night I like saw my boyfriend, like I like walk into the bedroom and he like hides it. I'm like, okay, no, he's definitely reading it. So you can read that too, understand your own body a little bit more. And that book is written by a man and like his kind of, talking about how he was, coming way too quickly. And so he had to learn how to get better at other things. And so I think it can be definitely a combination because I don't think I had sex that lasted more than like 15 minutes at 19.
See, it's interesting because I am gay. Yeah. So I don't relate to that part.
Oh, it's not fucking fun. Dude, I can't even explain to you. It's one of those things, like, I don't even know if I ever lost my virginity because I was like, did it happen already? Like, it is comical. Like, what they show in comedies it's just, I mean, what they show in like dramatic movies and like people lose their virginity, it's like 15 minutes. Like, that would never happen. It's just, it's so comical and so funny. And I genuinely think, at least from my perspective, like I don't know any of my friends who had like great sex until we got into our 20s because of that fact. And because also
there's so much sense.
And there's so much kind of like, at least for me, like I didn't understand the difference between like clitoral orgasms and like penetration orgasms and all of that. So like for me, if I wasn't like coming during sex, I was like, there's something wrong with me. And then it took me until I was so much older to like understand learning about like women's bodies, not just from like movies and men where it's like, oh, girls like scream orgasm, like railing them from behind. And then I was like, oh wait, wow. Like this is anatomy. Like this is like, there's actually things that need to be like touched on here. And they're like science, like moving geometry. This is not going to work this way. And so I'm like, it's just the first, like, I would say a solid couple. I mean, also I have a couple friends who are like, no, the first time I had sex, it was like fantastic. Like I came completely. And I'm like, I don't believe that was me. You. What?
But I have been masturbating before.
Then I totally buy that. That makes complete sense. But like, I just don't, I don't know. I think there's so much, we have so much idea of like, at least me personally, like coming from my thing, like I associated orgasming and sex with like penis penetration and guys. And it wasn't until I like let go of that and was like, oh no, I need to focus on me. Like I need to masturbate and figure this out on my own. And then not only was I in like enjoying sex way more, like it was finished. Like I was able to do that. It was much more about me and not like something's wrong with me. More like girls are very smart people. We can really talk ourselves into and out of anything. Yeah.
So and orgasms are so emotional. Like you have to be in some ways like comfortable and just
like okay with it. Like letting go of control. And that's like, I'm like fucking control freak. And also like, especially like the first time you orgasm, like that, I don't like.
You're not like in control of like exactly how your face looks and like if your boobs are at a good angle.
You've never really felt that feeling before and you can shut it down. Like you can stop that from happening. And so then you can just get up this like mental sort of roadblock. And it's super normal. I think like you're definitely like ahead of me. Like you're a year ahead of me. I was very much like, I'm fine. I've totally had orgasms before. Yeah, I think you'll be good. Should we go on to the next call?
Woo!
My name's I'm 15, about to turn 15, July 6th. So I started dating this guy that I met in school in 9th grade, and we started dating around February. We started dating in February and hooked up in April. After that, he thought he'd knocked me up, and honestly, we still don't know because I haven't got my period and it's July. Anyway, we broke up in May because he ended up telling his mom because he got worried that he knocked me up, and she didn't like that, so she forced him to break up with me. So we broke up at the end of school, which was in May. I still haven't told my mom either. But now, like, I still love him and everything. He's in Germany all summer. And last month I found out that he didn't want to restart, and he told me he did. And just the other day, I found out he's already looking for another girl. But anyway, but there's another problem. His best friend, which is was also my best friend, and his best friend liked me, and he was trying to mess up the relationship in the background. I mean, we've cut him out of our life, but like, it's so complicated and everything, and it's so messed up. Anyway, there's one other thing. This other guy that I've met recently, he lives in California though, and he's 17, but I'm 15. He's about to turn 18 in January. Like, I really like him, but I still love the ex.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like she literally turned 15 last week.
Holy shit.
Okay.
First of all, we need to address the huge thing in the room. You're potentially like 3 months pregnant?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Take a pregnancy test?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Also, I feel like, I know for me when I was 15, my period was not regular.
So totally.
So that's also possible.
But I also like wasn't boning.
No. Yeah, wasn't.
Fuck. Okay. That's something that you need to like figure out stat.
Yes.
And also if you're going to have sex, you need to be protected, especially not only against pregnancy, but against like STDs and STIs. And okay. So pregnancy thing aside, unpacking the thing with him and his mom and breaking up. Unless his mother is a fucking devil, there is no way in hell her son was like, hey, I think I got this girl pregnant. And she goes, you know what you got to do? You got to break up with her girl.
That's just not what happened.
No, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
This to me sounds like somebody, like I used to do this when I was younger, where if I like didn't want to go do something, I would like, I don't know, like make like my dad be like, I'd be like, Dad, someone invited me to go do this and I really don't want to do this. Will you say that I can't do this? And I'm like, sure, whatever. Or I would just make up like, oh, I can't do this.
My dad said no.
My dad said no, even though my dad like is at work, like does not care, like has not seen me. So I think, I mean, if he's already trying to like date somebody else and anything like that, that's to me just sounds like he used that as an excuse to try and hurt your feelings less. And kind of take the blame off of himself so you wouldn't hate him. So then if you potentially did have his baby, there would be like less animosity there.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he didn't tell his mom.
No, there's no way he told his mom. There's no fucking way he told his mom. And also
he's freaking out because he's scared to tell his mom.
Completely. Yeah. And that's like, I need to run away from this. Like that to me screams 15-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 15-year-old boy does not scream
young.
to me being like, I went and then told my mom I thought I got a girl pregnant. And also, I don't mean to shit on you, but you got to be so much more fucking responsible, because the idea that this could have happened months ago and that he would have had the chance to tell his mom and you would tell him that you think you're pregnant. Like if you miss your period and you are having sex, you have to take a pregnancy test. Like it's not a matter of like waiting any sort of period of time aside from the fact like waiting until that you can do that. And as soon as you told him you thought you might be, he also as a guy should have been like, well, you got to take a test.
Mm-hmm. But he's 15, so he had no idea.
Yeah. But like the fact that this is still like up in the air. And I also am curious about her friend, their mutual friend who like tried to break them apart because he likes her. I don't know where you also heard that either. That, I don't know. It just, for me, it just sounds like you were with a pretty shitty guy who's trying to like put blame on every other person.
Yeah.
And
because he's freaked out that he got you pregnant. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Fuck, I hope she's not pregnant.
Yeah, me too.
I really hope. You got to take a pregnancy test. And also, here's a tip. This is a really like, not even a controversial tip. You know what? This is like very realistic. Here's what I would do. If you you're very young, you're a woman who has had sex with a man and you think, or you're whoever, you had sex, you might potentially be pregnant and you have to take a pregnancy test. You're young, you're in high school. It's just like so clear. I'm saying this from personal experience. Yeah, you're younger in high school and you don't go to some place, go to like a fucking grocery store, take a pregnancy test, like go to a drugstore or go to like a grocery store where they sell pregnancy tests. That is not the one that you regularly go to. One that is far as fuck away from you. If it's far as possible that you can like afford to take yourself to with a friend, and take it there in that sketchy bathroom because you do not want to run into people. Like I'm talking like anxiety wise. Don't want to run into people. And also you can let that live and die there. So like I can drive by this one Molly Stone's in Marin County and be like, I remember taking a pregnancy test in that bathroom when I was 16. So I would just don't stress anyone or yourself out too. Like this is a lot of anxiety to feel that I think even he was your boyfriend at the time. So I get saying like, shit, I think I might be pregnant, but you guys gotta like, there's a way to find out. Exactly. Fact check it.
Yeah.
And then the guy that you might like in California, he's going to be 18 and you're 15. And that's just, I fucking hate when adults, I called myself an adult, tell young people that, oh, you'll understand this when you're older, but there's just such a difference in age there that it becomes, I don't want to be like really like dark with it, but an 18-year-old guy shouldn't be attracted to a 15, 14-year-old girl. That's just, it's gross.
It's predatory.
It is. It's very predatory. It's like, and you're attracted to the idea of either you're physically attracted and like you can look much older than you are. You're either, and maybe you really do look young and then you're dating a guy who's physically attracted to like someone who has like a very younger body type, which really should not be sexualized. Or he's attracted to the kind of power and control that comes over somebody who's that much younger than him. Once you get to be old, like in your, like my boyfriend's 4 years older than me, that's fine now. Like
we're both adults.
We're both adults. We're both consenting adults. Like I'm 24, he's 28. Like this makes, we're at similar points in our lives, but if we were younger, like we would have never dated when I was 14 and he was 18. First of all, he was super fucking cool and like played lacrosse and I had like transition lenses. But that aside, like if that's, he would have been lusting after like women, not girls.
A child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's just not like.
It is a sketchy thing when like, why? I think it's then asking the question of like, why does he want to be with me?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you can be a really great and awesome and really, really cool person, but you shouldn't be a sexual object to him with that age gap. Like it's just, those are such pivotal ages too. That I mean, I just find it like sketchy and predatory, like you're saying.
Also with him being in California, I then wondered, did you guys meet online? Like what's that?
How did they meet?
So especially if it's like something where you're meeting online, like no, you don't need that.
He's probably not even 18.
I was going to say, is he actually, because he's saying he's 17 now. Is he actually 17? He's probably 47.
40. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So, and also I feel like you have a lot going on right now. I can just focus on that.
Yeah.
Focus on school.
Take a pregnancy test.
And then like take a deep breath.
Yeah. And maybe
don't worry about that right now.
Take some time to like be single for a bit and figure out what you are looking for and have fun with your friends. Like I hate the idea of saying like, oh, there's so much more time to date and all of that stuff. But I so badly wish that someone had like knocked some sense into me when I was younger and I would have spent so much less time obsessing over like relationships and boys that I really didn't care about. And then by the time I got to my senior year of high school, I was like, fuck, I wish I spent like more time just hanging out with my friends doing stupid shit instead of stressing about like, oh my God, does so-and-so gonna like message me back on AIM? Because like I think all of that stuff can be fun. And I think especially at a young age, relationships and dating should really just be fun and add something to your life. And if they're causing you this much stress, I just don't think it's worth it. Okay, please take the pregnancy test. Please, please, please. And use condoms and go on birth control and all of those things. On to the next call. Fuck, I'm stressed for it. Also, this was like in like a weeks ago. Do you think she's just pregnant?
I don't know.
I'm hoping.
I Googled, there's a Planned Parenthood that's close to you. So go.
Coming in the clutch.
Yeah. Hi, Meghan. I need your help with this situation that I'm in. My older sister has a boyfriend and they've been together for the past 6 years. And this boyfriend has a younger brother who is my age, 18. And I used to like him, but I thought it was strange because our siblings were dating. And anyways, now he has a girlfriend for the past 3 years. And they have a really crappy relationship. For example, she tells him it's okay for him to be with other girls and do certain things, but not others. Anyways, we were drunk at this party a few months ago, and we've been together and we did more than she quote unquote allows. And the day after, he said that he doesn't recall anything from that night. And I wasn't sure if it was the truth or it was just trying to avoid what happened, but I tried to ignore it. And then at our prom, I was a little bit tipsy and I felt guilty. So I tried to talk to him, and he told me that if we didn't sleep together, he doesn't want to know because it will just ruin the relationship he has with this girl that he loves. So I talked to her, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. And I told her what happened, and she said that she's not mad, she's just hurt, and that she won't tell him about it. But a few days later, she told me that she did. And now he knows what happened and that I told her. And I feel really weird about it. And I don't know what to do, how to act around them. They used to be my friends. And I still have to see him at family stuff. And I don't know what to do, so please help me.
First of all, okay, no matter, I feel like you can be super, super drunk, whatever, if you, like, he wouldn't have gotten a boner if he was drunk enough to have literally no memory of what happened.
The only time I've like literally not remember what happened is when I got roofied in college. Like, I have been very drunk in my life. Like, I blacked out more times than I had not like.
But even at blacking out, like, you have faint, you know, if you hooked up with someone.
You wake up in the morning and you're like wearing jeans but no underwear, and you wore underwear that night and you're like, definitely did something. And then you'll see their face in the hallway and be like,
you'll get, at a minimum, like, you'll get flashes. Like, you would remember, like, kissing them. You would remember like touching them in some way. You might not remember every single like detail
or things that you said, but you're like, he remembers that he like his
definitely
his
remembers
had to get hard.
Yeah, exactly. And if he was drunk enough to have literally no memory of anything, his dick was not hard. His dick would not be hard.
And then you definitely would not have had sex.
Yeah, exactly. Or like whatever you guys were up to.
Yeah.
So he remembers and he's pretending that he doesn't, is what I can say. He remembers something. He definitely, and he's like, no, I don't know. And also I feel like her telling the girlfriend was not bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why do you think that's bad?
I just think it's not, I just don't know. I struggle with like the whole, cause like I want to know everything. Like, if my boyfriend fucking does something, like I want to know, but at the same time, I don't know. It's the motive that comes from it.
Okay.
So like when you have feelings for a guy and you hook up with him and you don't get the response that you want, and he says he's not going to tell his girlfriend, you shouldn't go tell his girlfriend, because your motive in there is the fact that you like this guy.
Yeah, she's being vengeful.
Yeah, and I mean, you're queen fucking petty, like the pettiest bitch that ever was, me. So I like completely understand that rationale, and that's so something that I would probably like consider doing if I was ever in that situation. But I know that comes, I don't know, like as I get older, I realize that kind of thing, there's so much gray area when it comes to being like, I don't know, like being like being a girl's girl and being a supportive girl and being able to do that, but then also know when that can be masked as like female hating, in the sense of, I'm doing this because
I want you guys to break up.
I hope you guys break up, which I'm not saying that is your like, I don't know, like your clear motive there, but I think it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's always so confusing because it's not really, it's just not your place in the relationship, because like it's the relationship between them. And especially because they have an agreement there. It's, even if they didn't have an agreement there, it's just, I don't know. You always get like, I've had friends who've had like girls come out of the woodwork and tell them like, oh, I fucked your boyfriend when he was dating you and stuff. And the automatic, which I wish it wasn't true, but the automatic thing that you don't believe that girl because that girl has had like feelings for your boyfriend. And then I don't know, you're very clouded when you're in a relationship. So then to have somebody else come in and tell you something that you're like, but you have so much to gain from this being true. Like I have everything to lose if this is true, but you have something to gain. So I just find it hard like that. And also like, not to be a bitch, but like if your moral compass was that strong, you wouldn't have done it.
Right. She liked him.
Yeah.
She hooked up with him. Then when he pretended like he didn't remember, she was hurt, went and told the other friend. And when the other friend still didn't care, she's still hurt. And now everything's awkward for her.
So it's kind of like a shitty situation. Like you made your bed, you kind of have to sleep in it, but you have to, it's gonna be like, there's no way that this wasn't going to be awkward. And it's like, it just happened that it's awkward and you didn't end up with the guy that you're into, which sucks because it definitely sucks to see somebody that you have feelings for who then is clearly has like holding some sort of like flame and candle for you, but is still choosing someone else over you. It's a shitty place to be in. But ultimately, I also don't believe that you should be with somebody who isn't going to pick you first.
That's what I think it like goes back to is you don't want to be with someone who is like doing this to you and also being like, oh, we hooked up and I don't remember. Like that is not a nice thing to say to someone, regardless of if he's like in a relationship or whatever. Being like, we hooked up, I don't remember, whatever, is not nice.
Yeah, it's clear that person isn't like those feelings that you have for him, he's not at home thinking about you the same way.
The person that of your dreams, like the person you want to be with, is not saying, I don't remember hooking up with you.
No.
They're saying, wow, that was sick. I loved when we banged back there.
Exactly.
Let's do it again. Let's hold hands all the time.
Yeah.
That was the best thing ever. And I think also the second, like and it kind of goes back to like what you were saying. It sucks like tell people, oh, when you're older, you understand. Like the first second you like are with the person that is, and you are their first choice and they're your first choice, you'll be like, oh.
Yeah, why the fuck did I settle for all this stuff before?
Exactly. Like it will be so crystal clear that you never needed that.
Yeah. And it's just, it's not, it also just, I would say the quicker you can get out of like a habit of doing that, the more likely you are to be in relationships in which you are getting picked first. But until you can seek out a situation and be like, this isn't working, like you're clearly not it for me, I'm clearly not it for you, and walk away, then you'll be able to move on and recognize, 100%. Oh, I'm it for you, you're it for me. But if you start to like let this be the norm, it'll keep happening.
And I think also it almost goes back to like the mental roadblock of orgasming. Yeah. Like you on some level like aren't ready or don't want right now someone who's there in the way that a like mutual loving relationship is. Like on some level you don't want that. Otherwise you would be seeking that out.
Yeah, it's somewhat safer and it's like a way that you can have
really safe
control over like, it's like it's having power and control and not letting yourself like fall for somebody who might not have feelings for you because like you're seeking out somebody and like who you know is with somebody else. Like it's an obstacle and a challenge.
Like they're in a relationship, an open relationship for 3 years.
They obviously there is a lot there. They love each other.
And also
big
you
time.
Can't shit on that relationship by saying that like it's not legitimate because they have open relationships. Like that's not, it's not your place to judge anybody else's relationship, but it's also not your place to judge the legitimacy of the relationship. It's not really a hole for you to slide into, like an open relationship. That's a thing. Like I've had friends who've been in really successful open relationships and it works for some couples and it doesn't work for others, but it's not necessarily a weak point in a relationship.
100%. And also if this guy, obviously he likes having an open relationship and it sounds based on the language that you use, you think that is not good. True. You probably aren't compatible there because if you guys were together, he'd probably want to go make out or do whatever.
Well, I'm going to hook up with my ex because
he obviously likes being in an open relationship and it seems like you don't like that. So that's a huge thing there that is just incompatible.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. So get your shit together.
Yeah.
Please, for the sake of your heart too.
I think it's very easy to glorify a traumatic relationship or to glorify a traumatic longing and a crush. And what you will come to realize is that it is not pretty.
It's a fat waste of time.
It's a fat waste of time, and it's actually not good. It's self-sabotage.
It is. It completely is. So I hope you still listen to the podcast after this and you don't hate us too much. Okay, guys, we're going to go on a quick break and then we'll be back.
That's true.
This episode of Don't Blame Me is brought to you by me reading reviews of our iTunes ads. It's okay. It's fine. Make noise in the background. Look at this. A very realistic podcast ad. Welcome to behind the scenes of the podcast, guys. I just want to give it some love. iTunes is what I'm saying. I've been loving reading your guys' reviews. It makes me really happy. And it's also a wonderful place for you guys allegedly to kind of roast me and tell me that I am old and you've been watching me for so long that you're going to reminisce about some of my embarrassing choices in aesthetics. So let's start with that one, which the title of this is Teal and Brown Room Days. And yes, everybody, my room was teal in high school, and there was one wall that was brown because, an accent wall. Bobby Burke would kill me. Queer eye. So the review is, hello, your podcast. Okay, I was really wrong. It doesn't say hello like that. It says hello with a lot of O's and exclamation points. Your podcasts are so amazing, and you've always felt like an internet big sister to me. I remember the Dr. Meghan days with your old 3D glasses. Ha ha ha. Those were the days. Anyways, thank you for being so open-minded and always empowering women. First of all, thank you. Second of all, kind of fuck you, because they were 3D glasses. I just had had attempted to be hipster glasses, but now that you've mentioned it, they did kind of look like those 3D glasses you get at the movies. So you're not wrong, Court. And thank you so much for the review. And this next one is perfect for the long drives. I was starting to get tired of skipping through my music while driving, and that's obviously not safe, LOL. So glad I found this podcast that keeps me entertained and definitely feel not alone with some of the calls. It makes me feel sane. Ha ha ha. Well, I'm so glad that not only are we making you feel sane, we are keeping you safe in your car, hands-free listening, so you don't have to skip those songs that keep coming up, except not Kiki G Love Me, because I will never skip that song. I just keep putting it on. So thank you so much for the reviews. And if you guys would like to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Apple Podcast app, it would mean the absolute world to me. So when I have bad days, I can just read them and feel good. And also, I do love when you guys let us know what you like about the podcast, and maybe some of your favorite, most memorable calls. And it just makes me excited to know that you guys are listening. So thanks, guys, and back to the episode.
Okay, guys, we are back from our break, and we're going to hop into some more calls.
Yay!
Fix your butt.
My butt is all good. How's yours?
It's pretty good. It's a little sore. Did a lot of glutes this morning.
Yeah.
Gluteus maximus.
No one's going to ask me.
How's your butt?
Doesn't matter now.
No, how's your butt?
No,
how's
doesn't
your butt?
matter.
Tell me how
It
your
doesn't
butt is.
matter
You gotta
now.
tell me how your butt is. Tell me how your butt is. Tell me how your butt is.
Okay.
Hi, Megan. I've got this friend who lives down the street from me. We used to be really close, but we weren't best friends in the sense of, sleeping over at each other's houses and things. We were just kind of best friends in school and only a little bit out of school. Recently I've just found out that she's had quite bad depression and she's found it difficult in the past to deal with it. I thought she could have come to me with something like that. But anyway, basically, I feel like I do a lot for her and I'm available for her all the time, and I'll kind of want to make plans with her and shuffle things around so I can hang out with her. She doesn't do the same for me, and I feel bad for her for going through that depression and having to do that basically alone, as I was kind of one of her few friends. I still really want to be there for her, but if she's not going to put in the effort, I don't really want to bring it up with her just because of that confrontation, and I don't want her to take it personal. But I just kind of wanted to see what your advice would that.
Being friends with somebody who's like actively in a really bad depression is like being friends with somebody who has cancer. Like you don't really like, not to be an unsympathetic bitch, but like I am so your friend. So like hearing someone say that is like literally my worst fears, that like a friend of mine would think those things. And I think that comes from like not you being a bad person at all, but just ignorance about what it's like. And I'm not saying that that means like you've never been depressed, but like we've said with orgasms and vaginas, like everybody's different. Like how it manifests itself with different people, it's so completely different. And so just even if, so let's say that I'm going to come at it from a point that I think like everybody struggles with mental health. So I'm going to pretend, or not pretend, I'm going to come at it as if you also have struggled with mental health. Maybe you haven't. I really hope you haven't. That'd be so sick for you. But if when you're depressed, you are able to, you want to fill your schedule and you want to make plans with people and you're very proactive about it, that's awesome. That's not how everyone is when they're depressed. And how she is acting is not how everyone acts when they're depressed. And it's like being friends with somebody who's fighting cancer. Like it's you, at least like I think you also kind of need to take a little bit of the ego out of it, of being like, you thought she could come to you. I think I fucking told the internet I was depressed before I told my best friend or like any of my friends. It's not something that people really like to talk about.
Yeah, it's not fun.
You need to take that ego out of it. And her being depressed and all of that, it's like her not telling you is not something that you should take offense by at all, because it's such a daily struggle. And for her, I think the best thing that you can do, because I think right now, like your feelings are hurt and that's fine. Like you can have those feelings and you feel like you're putting in more effort than she is. But I think you need to have a conversation with her. I think you need to be, and like my friends and I have done this before, because I don't hang out with people who don't have like some sort of mental stability issues, because I just like can't relate. So we literally like, I know, like my friends know if I'm feeling super depressed, like the thing that I'm not going to ask you to hang out because I'm convinced you don't want to hang out with me and that everybody hates me and no one wants to be around me. So you just need to fucking show up at my house and hang out with me. Like that's kind of how, like we've had that talk. And so I know if like I haven't heard from one of my friends for a couple of days, then like I know I'm like, no, I'm going to call you or I'm going to show up at your apartment. Or like if I'm going to straight up ask you how you're doing, because you're not going, we've like said this before, like I'm never going to like, here are the signs that I'm feeling really depressed. I'm not going to tell you I'm feeling really depressed, and I don't need you to ask me if I'm feeling depressed because I don't want to talk about it, but these are the things that I do. So know that, and this is what I need from you. Because I think like you just probably feel a little helpless and lost in how to help her, because you're coming at it from a place of prioritizing and switching around your schedule for her, and she's not doing that for you. But I think like where she's at needs to be a priority. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't care about you as a friend. It's just like she's battling some shit.
I think also with the feeling hurt that she's not trying harder to hang out with you, that can go to even regardless of the depression, like the different ways that people show love and the different ways that people show affection. And, you know, if you want to get into like the love languages, there's like 5 main ones, and you may be quality time. Like I know for me, if my friend isn't hanging out with me, I'm like, you don't like me anymore. But some people just don't show love that way. They show love by saying it, or they show love by, you know, just any XYZ way. So she may not even realize that she is not giving you the like love or affection or whatever you would characterize that as, that you need out of a friendship. So honestly, I think all like pretty much everything can be helped or aided along by just like that conversation, by saying, because she just may have no idea. And then separate from that, like 9 times out of 10, especially when you're depressed, things are about you and not the other person.
Like showering.
Showering is hard, let alone like making plans. And I know for me, if I like forget to text someone back, that is pretty much always about me, or like I was busy doing something, or like I forgot. It's really usually not about like, oh, I freaking hate this person. They're the worst person in the whole planet. And then when somebody doesn't text me back, I'm like, oh my God, they hate me. They're the worst person. So I think just like trying to flip that and like things are usually about the other person. And especially if she may not be, you know, the most social, especially being depressed, like she just may not be the kind of girl that's going to reach out to people. And that just might be her personality type. And that just might also not be the way that she shows affection.
And I'm curious about, so you said that you're prioritizing, but she's not prioritizing hanging out with you. If she's making plans and doing other stuff, I think as her friend being like, fuck no, dude, if you're busy and like you're like doing something else that's like helping you feel better, my feelings aren't hurt. Totally. But if she's just not responding and she's not prioritizing hanging out with you and she's making excuses, there's such a guilt that I personally feel when I'm depressed and hanging out with my friends that I'm just bringing them down. And then that for me, I'm like, are you inviting her? Are you asking like, hey, can I come over and watch a movie? What do you want to do? Or are you saying, hey, a bunch of us are going to go see a movie later. Do you want to come? I think like you need to figure out how you're approaching this and what she's comfortable with, because it might not be that she's not making time for you and prioritizing. Like she just might not feel up for the things that you're asking her to do. Like if I'm feeling super depressed and one of my friends calls me and it's like, hey, do you want to, like, even if I'm not feeling really depressed, I was like, hey, do you want to come to like a party? I'm like, no. But like in my head, I'm like, but I would really like, I'm feeling super low. I would really love if you came over and we had dinner and just hung out and talked, but I'm not going to say that. So I think you need like some people and maybe she, I don't know, like you just need to talk to her, because as much of you want to be supportive and like, you can only be supportive of somebody going through that when you know how to support them. And also just try and find a little bit of, just really try and put yourself in her shoes there, because especially you're saying that she doesn't have a lot of friends and you guys like are next door neighbors, that they live so close. Like maybe just like start as a part of like, I mean, maybe I would say like, just text her and be like, hey, how would you feel about like you and me? Like, and you can make it about you. Like, I really want to start getting into like doing a walk in the morning. Like, how about like before school or before we do, like, let's take like you and me half an hour walk in the morning. So like you can get her out of the house. It can just be you two. It isn't like a really pressured situation. And it's like comfortable. Like you're walking around your neighborhood together, getting some exercise there and making it, I don't know, just, I think some people think distraction, and that can be great for some people, but I think your paths and your like wavelengths are completely crossing, because I don't think either of you want to be a bad friend. And I think you're both just, your feelings are getting hurt. And she's obviously coming from a place where she really needs to focus on her well-being. That, I mean, I'm a super shitty friend when I'm depressed. And like, I think I'm so lucky that my friends cut me like massive slack. And I like thank them so much for that, because I'm like a shitty person to be around. I remember one day I texted Aislinn, and I was like, was one of my friends, I texted her and I was like, are you mad at me? And she's like, I'm not mad at you at all. Why? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like feeling super depressed, but I'm convinced you're mad at me. She goes like, okay, I'm coming over. Like, I'm not mad at you at all. Like this is, and it can be really hard, and it's awkward to talk about with friends and stuff, because you never want to make them feel uncomfortable. But I think like you got to rip the Band-Aid off to then make it better for the long run.
There's this thing, and I haven't seen the episode, but it's from RuPaul's Drag Race, where one of the drag queens names her anxiety Brenda. And so all my friends and I have started calling our like anxious feelings Brenda. So sometimes like I'll text my friend, I'll be like, hey, Brenda's telling me you're mad at me. Like, I don't think you are, but I just like really need to make sure, because Brenda won't shut up. She just keeps telling me you're angry. And then my friend will be like, oh my God, no. Like, that's just Brenda. Brenda needs to shut up. It's like, Brenda is like the worst friend you could ever have. She is always trying to stir the pot. You never really text her or invite her places, but she's always there. She shows up. No one can figure out like how she's in your friend group, but she's always there. And so that to me has like, especially with my friends and I, like communicating kind of the difference between like our anxious feelings and our like feelings being like, okay, like Brenda's telling me this and I think it's crazy, but.
And it's a nice detachment from it.
Yeah, because also if you think of stuff like, if you're saying, okay, Brenda's telling me everyone I know hates me and never wants to see me again, it's like, well, Brenda's stupid.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like Alexis knows that.
Yeah. Can you even imagine if you had a friend who was telling you all that stuff? Like thinking of your anxiety as a friend, and then you wouldn't listen to that friend. You'd be like, that friend is insane.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always call like my normal brain and my anxiety brain, but I'm going to name it now.
Yeah, exactly. Find a nice name that fits for you. It helps so much within like my friend group with like communicating.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I just think you got to come at it from Sympathy.
And also not expecting like, okay, I'm going to hang out with her and then we're going to talk out her depression. Then the next day she's going to feel better. Because I think sometimes if you're depressed and your friend expects that they can fix you, that's like really frustrating situation to be in. Because a lot of times you're not going to hang out once and then it's going to be like, oh, I fixed her. She's better. Sometimes the best thing to do is just like be there for someone. And it sounds like your heart's definitely in the right place with that. And you're trying to be there for her.
Yeah. In whatever capacity that they need.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes like I know with my friends, if like one of us is feeling depressed, sometimes it's a matter of like, I can't hang out right now, but like, please keep inviting me. Whenever you feel like icky about anything, having a conversation is usually the answer.
It's the quickest fucking way to get it solved.
Exactly. Or yeah, just being like, okay, Brenda's telling me this. Like, is it true?
Fuck Brenda.
Yeah. Fuck Brenda.
Fuck Brenda. Should we go into the next call?
I'm a 17-year-old girl, and my best friend for years is also 17 and out and proud gay. And he recently told me something pretty shocking. He told me that he wants to have sex with me just to see what it would be like with a girl. But like, to make things even more complicated, ever since I was young, I've kind of been in love with him, but I've always pushed my feelings aside because he's gay and also my best friend. I feel like this could be my like one chance to be with him, so maybe I should really do it, but I don't want to ruin the friendship. I'm really stuck on how to respond to him, so please give me some advice.
I think you should okay, it's going to sound crazy. Let me finish. I think you should only do it if you're in a position where it's not going to hurt you emotionally. And it sounds like you're not. You're not in that place. So you shouldn't do it. Like if you guys were just BFFs and you like loved hanging out and you thought it would be fun and you thought it would be like just like, oh my God, we're so crazy and fun. And then the next day you guys like got brunch and you were like, oh my God, we're so crazy. That was crazy. Then like, sure. But it does not sound like that's where you are. There's a part, like, I just don't understand what would compel you as the girl to be like having sex with a guy who is not to me, that just sounds like you're setting yourself up. Like, I don't want someone to like have sex with me and be like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, I don't like this. Like, I think it's such a vulnerable, especially when you're in love with them.
Yeah. Like it's such a vulnerable kind of thing that I would be like, also like my knowledge on this is like literally like one of my best guy friends is gay. And he talks about how he like was been with one girl and the one time he went down on a girl, he like threw up afterwards.
I have like the opposite story where I have a guy friend who's gay and he had like a best gal pal and they slept together and then it was like a thing that they did together and it was like fun and like fine and he was like, yeah, I mean it was hot but I'm still gay, like you know, I don't know, it was something cool to do and I'm glad I had that experience, but like I still, you know, am into guys, and I think that only worked because like she understood exactly like what they were both going into. And so but it sounds like it's not what you should do, I think.
No, because that just means, because that is just like, it's like just friends with benefits kind of a thing. Because also like I've said this so many times, but like sex is just, it's purely what you make it. Like if you want to have a massive emotional connection to it, like you can, but like there's also just like a primal
banging
kind of
around
thing. Yeah. So it's like, there doesn't have to be there doesn't have to be this like big romance behind it for everybody. It's like up to whoever it is, but like it only would work. It's the same situation. Like imagine if he was straight, could you be friends with benefits? Like him being gay doesn't really have anything to do with it. It's like, this is somebody that you have like immense feelings for and have like pushed aside. And also like, is there not a part of you that is like hoping he's going to have sex with you and be like, I take it back. I'm straight and I love you.
Yeah.
Like the likelihood of that is like so slim to like none. Like more likely than not, it's not going to end up like that. You might have more feelings for him. It might be really awkward. He might literally be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And like, you'll feel insecure and shitty. You got to just like squash it and say no to him. And I don't know if he's known that you've ever had these kinds of feelings for him, because I don't think he would suggest it otherwise.
I agree. I think he probably just thinks you are fun best friends. And also like it would be, because I'm gay, so it would be like easy for me if I like want to have sex with one of my guy friends to like have sex with him and then be like, ha, cool. And like not feel any which way or feel awkward or like whatever. But if like they were straight, it would be different. Like it just is super different for him. It would be a very, very different experience for him. And it would be like exploratory and doing something he's never done before for like the thrill of it. And
skydiving.
it would be like skydiving. Exactly. It would not be like souls connecting. It would not be like, wow, now we must go to the farmer's market together and like hold hands. And exactly. So it's gonna be literally for him like skydiving. Like, whoa, I'm so crazy. I did it. Yeah. And then like when he's 80, he'll be like, oh, I remember when I went skydiving.
Or when I fucked a girl.
Yeah, it's gonna be like really easy for him to just move on. And it sounds like for you, it would be not that.
And I don't think you need to tell him that you're in love with him. I think you can just be like, oh my God, like you're crazy. But like, no, I'm not going to be that one girl you have sex with.
And also you never owe your friends, no matter, you never owe anyone sex, even if you like love each other and you're best friends or whatever. You never like owe that to him. Like if you say no, he should be like, okay.
Yeah, because it is like a funny, like he's coming at it of like this is a funny, crazy idea. I want to go skydiving. And you're allowed to say, no, I don't want to go skydiving.
Absolutely.
I value my life and my heart.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights.
Yes. just tell him that. I'm like, you want to fuck? Like, I can't. I'm scared of heights.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we are headed into Producer's Corner. And this is where Melissa picks either we've got a callback from somebody who we've given advice on a previous episode and they're updating us, or we have somebody who is going to give some better advice than we did and maybe has a personal experience with a call and will offer their input.
That is so fun.
Some nosy bitches, which would be me. I would call into this podcast
every episode.
I have something to say.
Well, this is a update. So this is from the episode with Lucas Crookshanks from the girl who her friend
fucked at a party.
No, not that one. The girl who her mom drove her to have sex with a guy
to pay rent.
Whoa.
So this is an update.
Wait, so hang on really quickly so I can get it.
Yep.
So her mom was like, I need you to have sex with this guy instead of because I can't pay rent.
We don't know exactly how it went down on that end.
But it was like an older guy and the girl was like, yeah, no, I hung out with like this girl's friend. It was like natural, like just happened, but her mom drove her there.
Yeah.
And
they're friends with the guy's son.
Yeah. So like these high school kids.
That's either
high school, college.
Hot
I think they
or
were
predatory.
In their 20s. 18,
in their
19,
20s.
Yeah.
Maybe hot? No.
I feel like not hot because I'm pretty sure
your
mom drove you there and like they needed the money. They needed the money for like rent and stuff.
Wait, they needed the money is where I'm losing it.
Yeah,
Yes.
he paid for
sex.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just like she was hanging out with like her friend and then like there was this older man there.
Her mom drove her to an older man. They had sex and then their rent was paid.
Yeah. Got it.
And they're friends with that older man's son, like the friend group.
Okay, I'm a little.
And
less excited.
I mean, we're still fucking confused.
Yeah. Okay.
Before I gave an update, I guess I just wanted to say thank you because you guys validated that how I wanted to feel, but I was afraid to feel. And that was that it's okay to choose yourself over choosing others. You know, it's okay to make sure you're okay before others are okay. And we're talking and hanging out again. I haven't brought it up mostly because I'm scared to. The situation's kind of past, I guess, and I don't want to bring up stuff that could hurt her and where she's at in life right now. She's trying to move out of her mom's house, and I'm just, trying to help her as much as I can. I don't think it's continuing, but like I said, I've been kind of too scared to ask, and I guess I am not wanting to because I don't want to hear either that it's happened or I don't want to hurt her more than what's probably happened. I just want to thank you again, and I want to thank you for helping others with situations who aren't like mine and just being an amazing person in the world of social media. Thank you. Love you.
That's so sweet.
So nice.
Yeah.
Usually the updates or the callbacks are being like, I didn't take your advice.
It all went wrong.
It all literally went super fucking wrong.
Yeah. So one of the things we had said was maybe she just needs a friend right now. So you just be her friend now.
Because she had said that she felt like uncomfortable with the situation and like really didn't want to hear about it, but then felt like a bad friend for not wanting to hear about it. And then me and Lucas were saying that like, you have to like prioritize your feelings. And like, if this is draining for you and you don't want to hear about it, you don't have to hear about it. But then also that like, she might be in a situation, like this might not have been as like fun and consensual as she made it sound. And so I'm glad to hear that your friend is moving out of her mom's place. And I think that will probably do wonders for like your friendship with her. Cause I don't think, I just think like she's probably was not in a good, either she was in a consensual, not great space, or she was in like a non-consensual, not great space. Like she was definitely either pressured or not pressured to do it. Like, it's not really something that, do you know what I mean? Like either like you were said that you were going to do this, or you felt like you needed to, like you felt like, fuck, my family's broke. Like, I know that this, like, it maybe hasn't been explicitly said, but I know that like, if I hook up with this guy, this is going to like help my family. And so she was able to make that choice, but like it came from like a place of desperation. So I think her moving out of her mom's house is great. And I think that if she's open to talk about it, I think you should, but I think it's fine. Like, I don't think you need to bring it up, because I think she's in the right mindset of not wanting, especially when she's still at her mom's house, like not wanting to like either bring something up that's like raw and fresh. And then also like if she's still hooking up with him, like you don't have to want to know about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it kind of goes back to like the depression thing. Like sometimes the best thing you can do is just be there. And it doesn't mean you have to like fix that for her. Completely. But just by being a friend she can hang out with and like relax with and not be like on edge, that is helpful in and of itself. Yeah, wow. That is a crazy sitch. I'm just trying to sort through all that.
Me too. I also wonder how much the rent was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Also, I mean, she is, oh, wow. Like, I mean, I can imagine your mom like tells you to do something or like insinuates you should do something, and that is a totally different thing than like anyone else doing it. So I can't imagine like the thoughts going through her mind. Like if you sort of called in here and you were like unsure how to feel about it, I can imagine how unsure she feels about it. Like, oh my God, I did this. Is it bad? Should I feel bad? Like, is it right? Is it wrong?
And
my
she
mom's
also
telling
really
me one
helps
thing.
out
I
her
feel
family
weird.
financially, right? Yeah. So there's like that kind of obligation and being like, and also like there's something like I just have a like struggle. I just really, it makes me really, really sad to see like parents and adults whose kids really have to parent. Yeah. And it gets put in a situation where they have to grow up and be an adult and like do things that you might not really understand the consequences of because you don't have as much life experience, and there's someone with more life experience making you do something like that. Well, shit. Okay, guys, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for being on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You're so good at advice.
Oh, thanks.
And
same
look
to
on
you.
this couch.
We really got loungy.
We did. I started.
You started loungy. I got loungy.
You got loungy. It's a good thing to get. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you are watching on YouTube, you can go to don'tblameme.show to find out where you can listen. It's on iTunes, Apple Podcast app, as well as SoundCloud,
and on the website.
Oh yeah, true. And if you're listening there and you want to watch us and see our facial reactions, you can go to YouTube to see that. And where can people check you out on the internet?
Ooh, well, you can listen to my podcast, All Good with Alexis G. Zall. It's where, you know, all the podcast places, and Meghan and I did an episode together that will be going up around now.
Oh, sick.
So be sure to tune in and listen to that. And then all my social media is at Alexis G. Zall.
Ooh, I'm burping. And I was going to plug us. If you guys want to follow Melissa and I, all of our socials are listed down below. And if you want to be in an upcoming episode, or you just, I mean, you need advice. I mean, it's not like like I want to be in an episode. My life is in shambles. If you want to apply, kidding. If your life is in shambles or you just need some fucking help, you can get our advice by leaving us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international callers email an audio file to meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And and also anyone who still has updates from previous episodes. I love fucking updates.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Give me the fucking updates.
All your next advice questions are going to be from me.
Oh, sick. Great. Love it. Change your voice for all of them. Like, hello. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't Don't Blame Me is a production by me, produced, directed, and edited by Melissa DeMons. Post-production sound by Chris Henry, production assistant Julie Carley, and music by Giacomo Picasso and Ryan Hunter. I'll see you guys next week, and don't blame me if your life, completely fucks up before then. Oh.